This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball's app makes it easy to keep up to date with transfer news, scores and stats all in the one place. To download the OneFootball app, click the link in the description. The app is free.
Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Everton News Daily. Everton have revealed their accounts basically for last season up to May. The main points are record revenues totaling 189 million, which is a 10% increase on the previous year. Commercial revenues, including gate receipts, increased by 45% from 2017. Growth has come from the new partnership deal with Sports Payser Sleeve, partnership with Angry Birds, USM as the training ground partner, and Blackwell Global. Club has also seen improved deals replace expiring deals. Sports Payser more than Chang. Blackwell brings more in EZ Trader, and obviously partners like Shaw. This year the club has signed up to also global Italian food manufacturer Fratelli Beretta, showing Everton's global appeal with more to come in the new year. Now this is all from Everton, obviously. Broadcast revenue makes up 69% of the turnover, a reduction of 7%, mainly due to increased commercial revenues, which is a positive sign. According to Everton, on-field ambition has seen continued investment in the first team squad, which included the additions of Michael Keane, Gylfi Sigurdsson, Shane Tosun, Theo Walcott and Jordan Pickford, and has led to an increase in the overall wage bill and a loss after tax of 13.1 million, 14.4 million of exceptional costs in relation to settlements, costs for the termination for former employees, and other costs in relation to the change in coaching staff. So obviously losing a couple of managers during the year and their staff had a major impact on Everton's losses. There was 34 million loss in exceptional costs, and as I said, 14.4 were in settlements for obviously for Ronald Koeman and Sam Allardyce and their staff. So that just shows you that was a key part of the year in terms of loss. One factor was that putting in money was Farhad Moshiri actually put 100 million into the club last year. So all these people who keep on telling you he's a fraud and he's a fake, etc., etc., he put 100 million pounds into the club last year, which takes his total up to 250 million pound investment into the club. As we mentioned, there was a net loss of 13.1 million pounds and an operating loss of 22.9 million. And as we mentioned as well, the broadcasting covered 69%, which Everton will obviously want to get down. I know it came down slightly this year. And you've got to factor in also that there was the Europa League in the broadcasting last year, but Everton really need to get that down, with some of the teams in the top six at the moment, almost half that. So that is something Everton have to massively get under control and start getting more out of the sponsors we currently have, which at the end of the day generally will come out of being a better team. We'll have to wait and see what the true reflection is of this, obviously, because this is from last season, and as we've already seen, last season was an absolute disaster, and Everton have already put things in place, obviously getting a new manager in, getting Marcel Brands in, restructuring the board and how it's run. So all of those factors have to be taken in consideration. This might be the year we start turning the ship round, and obviously these factors from last season are a massive part of that. The club have started to look at addressing those problems. Anyone can see that, but we won't know till this time next year whether those issues have been tackled, straight away, and whether we're making a massive dent in that. One of the interesting facts was there was one of the things that we spent money on. We spent 11.4 million on the stadium, the new stadium that is, so Bramley Moor Dock, on design and everything else that goes with it. So again, if people are out there doubting that Everton are going to get a new stadium, they spent 11.4 million on it last year, which says to me they're trying their damnedest to get a new stadium. Because that would seem like a hell of an investment to make on something just to patronise the fans, as some people think. So Obviously, a lot of these things are out of the club's hands, but spending 11.4 million on something suggests that they're trying to do their best to make it happen. So, Everton will paint one picture of these finances being on the up and up, and losses are just things that occurred, and we're trying to turn them around. And there was exceptional circumstances because of two managers having to be paid off and things like that, and that new sponsors are in, and we might see the effect of that a little bit more down the road. And obviously with the stadium as well, losses will be seen to be occurred while we're trying to build the stadium, and until we get that plan permission, we will suffer losses on the stadium. If you're on Twitter, go and check out the Esks breakdown. Listen, I can't really do it justice, but he has broke it all down, and it's a really fascinating insight to and listen, these figures will always, whether your glass is half empty or half full, that's the way you're gonna and look at these things. But we did spend a lot of money the summer before last. We did get rid of a manager, then we got rid of another manager, so they all factor heavily in these losses. So as I say, this time next year, I think we'll get a better idea of where we stand, and obviously in terms of the stadium as well, we'll know a lot more. But there you have it. You'll have to check out the Esk and his blog to get more on this, and obviously there's a lot more on Everton's website as well. Moving more on the pitch, it looks like Niasse will be leaving the club in January. Sources tonight say that he is definitely up for sale, with Cardiff City seeming to be interested, and obviously he's been linked with Turkey before. He's not been involved in the last 12 Premier League squads, I don't think. So it looks like he will be available to go in January. It looks like that will happen, and hopefully he'll go, and hopefully he'll get on with his career, because it's certainly not happening at Everton. And Everton, Marcel Brands has said his policy is one in, one out. So if he leaves, that'll open the door for someone to come in, hopefully. Me and Baz have done a video over on Patreon discussing that, and Marcel Brands, transfer strategy of bringing a player in once we've got a player out. So go and check that out if you're on Patreon. If you're not on Patreon, why aren't you on Patreon? And just one little bit of news that affects everybody. Well, hopefully this will affect us at the time. There will be no replays in this year's FA Cup 5th round. It was supposed to be happening or starting from next year when we get the winter break as well. Well, it's going to start this year. So in the 5th round, which hopefully will be in, fingers crossed, there'll be no replays. So the game will be decided on the day, extra time and penalties. So there you have it. Hopefully we'll be in it, and hopefully we won't need penalties or extra time, and we'll go right through to the 6th round. Anyway, there you have it. This has been the Everton News Daily. I'm sure me and Baz will have more to talk about on the finances that have come out today, and obviously the general meeting will be happening next month as well, and we'll hopefully get John in to discuss this more in the next few days. Anyway, thanks for watching the Everton News Daily. Make sure to check out all our other videos currently available on YouTube and over on Patreon. I'll see you later.